Next, we have Ben Samaroo, who is the co-founder and CEO of WonderFi, coming up. Hello, Ben.
Hey, Justin. How are you?
Good. How are you doing today?
Yeah, I'm doing great. Yeah, it's been an awesome day of presentation. So glad I can be here to wrap it up.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been a lot of information. I'm going to go ahead and right over to you, Ben, and thank you for joining us.
Right on. So yeah, I'll try and keep it as quick and simple as possible. I'm sure people are kind of overloaded from information about all of the great projects that have been presented today. So I'll tell you a little bit about WonderFi and myself and our team. We've been building in the crypto space really going back to 2016. We've been involved with companies like Hut 8, the biggest Bitcoin miner in North America, Galaxy Digital, which many people will be familiar with, Argo Blockchain, and so on. So we've been in the space for a long time, and now we're working on accessibility in DeFi. So that's what I wanted to talk about today. Some of our backers are Kevin O'Leary, Sam Bankman-Fried from FTX and Alameda, and then a name that's probably lesser known in the crypto space, Josh Richards, is an investor and social media influencer who has 40 million followers across his platforms. And I'll share more about why that's important as we kind of move through the presentation. But we've got some really significant people behind us to help us make DeFi more accessible. And I'll just give you a heads up, like, not going to be selling you on DeFi. I think people have probably done an excellent job of doing that, or most people today here are sold on that. Just going to focus on the problem of accessibility. And really the reason for that is all this great technology that's being built at the protocol level with a lot of the people that have presented today is amazing. But if the technology is not accessible and usable for your average person, it just doesn't matter. And that's not a knock on anybody working in the space. I think it's just something that for people that have been heads down in the space for a year, 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, you forget that when you step out of your circle, 99% of people aren't going to know what you're talking about when you talk about DeFi and probably around the same number when you talk about crypto. So I think it's really important for us to kind of zoom out and look at what the average person's knowledge level is. And so I think we come back to the reason why crypto and why DeFi are important. And I think, again, it's really important in our view to keep this top of mind all the time, because there's these major problems with traditional finance. It's so many people in the world that are unbanked or underbanked. And that's not just people that are in developing countries. That's in North America, in the United States. I saw a stat recently in New York City. I think it was either 10 or 12% of people don't have bank accounts. And so that's a staggering statistic. And the income inequality and sort of the wealth gap continues to grow. I think everybody here knows this, but I think it's just really kind of important for us to keep that in mind as we're building in this space, that everything comes down to being able to propagate this technology so that it can really be used and move people off of kind of the legacy technology that that the majority of the world is using right now. So our mission with WonderFi, as I mentioned, really is to create better access. It's all about accessibility, and I can't emphasize that enough. Like I said before, if this technology does not does not become usable for your average person, it doesn't matter. So I'll touch on this a little bit more. Our kind of high level view of this is education is the first piece, and that education is, people within the crypto space look at education differently than people outside of the crypto space. People within the crypto space are extremely, diligent, educated about the technology. The level of knowledge is incredible. As a lot of deep diving on white papers, and a lot of people are have backgrounds in software development, coding, can really understand that side of things. But again, for your average person, it's so far gone from what is accessible or useful for them. So I think when we think about education for people in the crypto space and people outside of the crypto space, it's completely different. So I think the education piece is very important if we want to get this technology out to many people. And then the second part is simplifying things. So I think we're in the early adopter stage for DeFi right now, where almost all the usage is from people that have experience in the space. And so their needs are a lot different than people that are going to be more part of the majority, like early majority market segments, who are, they're not going to care about looking at 40 different protocols and yield farming, spending their whole weekend doing that. They're just going to want some exposure to this. Oh, hey, I can earn a few percent on my asset instead of a fraction of that in my bank account. Let's see if I can do that. And if you can provide a way to do that, in a few clicks, then this starts to matter to people past that, past that early adopter segment. So I think don't want to go into all the details on the slide, but basically, I think if we zoom out of the experience that a lot of people probably attending today and a lot of the presenters have within the crypto and the DeFi space, for your average person, the moment that they look at a DeFi product or protocol, it's extremely confusing for them. There's a lot of, there's a reason why there's so many resources online for people being able to navigate how to do different things within DeFi. And there's, a lot of time and energy that people spend helping to, make it more cohesive so that you can, you can achieve what you're trying to do within DeFi. So it's a really fragmented space. It's really complicated. Everybody knows these problems. And I think they're really key. So what we're doing is really making a simple point of access and really honing in on what people care about, because what we're finding is from doing user testing as we take people through a lot of the applications within DeFi, and when I say people, again, this is people without any experience in crypto. Basically the reaction is, oh, hey, this is cool, but I don't know what to do with it, and I don't know why it's important. So I think, again, that's a challenge that comes with every early technology, where you have people that are so passionate, the core community that's building, and so the level of knowledge gets so higher and higher and higher. And as the technology develops, you're catering to those people with that high level of knowledge. So it basically estranges people that want to get in more and more, until you have something that comes in and really makes it accessible and sort of levels the playing field. So that's what we're focused on, and that's what we think is really important for this space to get to a significant level of adoption. So I'll talk about, I mentioned some of our backers earlier, and it's for a really specific reason, which is that in our view, even if you solve these problems I talked about here through an app, and it's seamless, it gets in the hands of somebody that has no background in crypto, and they can understand why I need to use this, and they can do it really easily. It doesn't matter if it can't get in it doesn't matter if you can't get people to download that app. And so again, on the point of accessibility, it comes through the user interface, which I talked about, but social media really is the most valuable currency today. If you can't get something in front of people, if you can't get a new technology in front of a large segment of people, it doesn't matter, because it's still not going to get meaningful adoption. So we're really focused on, again, on accessibility, as I keep mentioning. But with WonderFi, we have this unfair advantage, which is some of the biggest names in finance, in crypto, and in social media behind us. And these aren't paid promoters. Like these are investors in the company that are aligned on our accessibility mission, and they all have different reasons for getting involved. So Kevin O'Leary, who a lot of people are familiar with from Shark Tank, he's a traditional investor. He's just looking for ways to earn interest on his assets, and it's as simple as that. And DeFi provides him that opportunity. He's an investor in FTX, in Circle, and WonderFi is his third venture that he's invested in. And I'll talk just for a moment about Josh Richards.
We've actually got it. We just got one more minute, Ben. We got to wrap it up.
Okay. Yeah, sounds good. I think the reach of these people is extremely important because it does help to get the message out. And again, it's a lot of companies in the space are spending a lot on marketing to get their product out. But I think having people aligned, really focused on the accessibility mission is extremely important, and it creates a lot of consolidation opportunities. Just with the last sort of 15 seconds, I think WonderFi, we just completed a public listing. We're publicly traded on the NEO under the ticker Wonder. So that's a great way to get exposure to the DeFi space for institutions or even retail investors that don't want to hold assets. They just want to invest in the traditional way.
Well, thank you so much for taking the time to come and speak with us today, Ben. We very much appreciate it. People can Google, and I suggest we all take a look at the project, of course. We've had such a wonderful outpouring of content today, and I really appreciate your participation.
Absolutely. My pleasure.
Thank you, Ben. You take care.